Good morning, Facebook family. I thank you for joining me in another episode of Tea and Talk with Hermie. I'll try something different in this season, also this year. I call it Getting to Know Hermie. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it Getting to Know Hermie. What it is that I'm going to tell you three things about myself. And in those three things, you have to pick one at the end of the year. Okay. So I'm going to tell you three things about myself. So let's start with the three things. The first thing is I love red. That's number one. I love red. The second thing is I love to dance to soca, which is a soul of calypso, and reggae music. The third thing is it's about a promise, how I feel, my premise when it comes to a promise. When it comes to a promise, I feel if I cannot keep the promise, I'm going to come to you and tell you I cannot keep the promise. So, those are the three things about me. I'm going to say it again. Number one, I love red. Number two, I love to dance to soca and reggae music. Number three, when it comes to a promise, if I cannot keep the promise, I'm going to come to you and tell you I can't keep it. I might tell you why I can't keep it, or I might not tell you. I don't know how it will be in that situation. But those are the three things. And at the end of the season, you have to tell me one thing from the three, not two, one. One from the three at the end of the season. And you can write it in the comment section, or there will be a link for you to go to tell me what did you learn about getting to know Hermie. Okay, so let's have some fun with it. Let's have some fun with it. So remember those three things. Just gotta remember one. So I know you just gotta remember one. I gave three, but you only have to remember one. Now it is January 2020, and every January we get to celebrate the birth of a king, Martin Luther King Jr. However, I learned that his given name is Michael King Jr. He was Michael King Jr. in January 1929. 1934, his dad went to Germany, and the dad was inspired by a Protestant leader, Martin Luther. The dad was so taken Martin Luther that he decided to change his name to Martin Luther King Sr. So ergo, Michael became Martin Luther King in 1934. He was married to Coretta. They had four beautiful children. He received his Bachelor of Arts from Morehouse College in 1944. And in 1955, he earned his doctorate in systematic theology from the Boston University. He is a Baptist minister and a well spoken activist. He was very outspoken when it came to civil rights from 1955 until 1968. In all what we do, in all what we do, we don't look for accolades and we don't look for awards. We don't. We just do what we're going to do, and we do it. We just do our best, and what happens, happens, but we're going to do our best. So while he was alive in 1964, he received the Nobel Peace Prize because of his nonviolent way to handle problems. That's right. Dr. King felt that way, that you handle a problem, you don't have to have violence to get a problem taken care of. So his was the speech and nonviolence. That was in 1964. In that same year, Time magazine named him Man of the Year. Distinguished man, distinguished man. You know, I tried to Google to see the magazine, to see him on the magazine, but it was like black and white, and it was he was a very distinguished looking man. Now, after his death in 1977, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Carter had the distinctive opportunity to give the medal to his wife Coretta on the for his the same thing, for his tenacity for want to do for the civil rights, because he was very driven. He was very driven for the rights of people, very driven. And in 2004, he received the Congressional Gold Medal, and again for civil rights. Because if we did not have the civil rights right now, where would we be? So for all his struggles when he was alive, for him to be awarded after his passing posthumously, it says a lot for Dr. King to get those two awards years after his passing. I don't take comfort so much when injustice happens. I don't believe anybody does. I don't believe anybody likes to see an injustice happen will gloat about it. See an injustice, they want to do something about it. They want to say, you know what, something got to be done. So in December of 1955, when the beautiful seamstress Rosa Parks was on the bus and refused to give up her seat and was arrested, Dr. King intervened the next day, not the week, not a month. The next day, he intervened and said, what happened here? What are we going to do about it? So Dr. King says, guess what? We're going to boycott the bus. And back then, the more who used the bus was the blacks. So after the blacks not using the bus, there was a deficit. Yes, there was a deficit because the blacks are not using the bus. So then they say, you know what? Went to court. And that was Dr. King's first victory, that it was deemed that it was unconstitutional to have that segregation. So today, when we are together, black and white, our races get together. We have to remember our past. We have to remember what they did for us to get us here today. So those almost a year fighting for that right that we have today. I don't know. I don't know what to say on that. It's like, wow, are we taking that for granted? What they went through in the past? Do we just feel so privileged today? I don't know. But all I do know is that Dr. King had an agenda, and that's what he set out to do. He set out to make things right. And as I go along, I feel that you're going to get a point where I have a quote from him that we're going to talk about, where he likes to put things right. That was his apple in his eyes. that when he see an injustice, he wants to make that injustice right. That's why they had so many marches. He was a non-violent man to get things accomplished. I think he wanted to get to the heart and the mind. Let a person see it. Just yourself in that situation, empathize. And I really believe Dr. King was that kind of a man that he used his words as a knife, words as a dagger. He's used his words to make people see the good. He used his words. When we march in the military, we march because we have to get from point A to point B, and we have to know how to handle our gear if our transportation breaks down. If we are on our transport and it breaks down, guess what? We got to walk the 10 miles. So we rock march. We rock march once a month to train for that. But when Dr. King led marches, he led marches to say, you know what? We have some injustice. We have some injustice. And in order to deal with the injustice, we have to come together as a community and do something about it. And so in 1960, when he did the March on Washington, that march started small and it ended up to be 25,000 people marched by the time it got to Washington. I wish I was the fly on the wall when Dr. King sat down to talk with President Kennedy and Vice President Johnson. I wish I was a fly on the wall. I wish to know what they were talking about. What would be so pertinent that the president and the vice president will invite Dr. Kennedy, invite Dr. King to sit down and have a talk. I wish I was a fly on the wall. That would have been a powerful conversation to get invited into the White House as a black man. Yes. So I wish I would have fly on the wall. The next march is the Bloody Sunday, and this was not first led by King. This march was first by the trusted young feisty activist, Mr. John Lewis. He led that march. It was called Bloody Sunday because of the violent attack from the police. The police were violent. They were determined not to let the march go. So they used violence. But what Dr. King and activist people want to use, they don't want to use violence. Just want to use their words. Their words. I'm serious. When they say sticks and stones will break your bones and words don't hurt you, eh, words can build you or break you. Okay, words can either lift you up or knock you down to you, just knock you down. So that's what they use. They use their intellectual knowledge to make things happen. So in that march, they were fighting for voting rights. Oh my God. Imagine that. Had to fight to vote. Oh, something that takes so for that. Oh, I don't want, I'm not voting. Not today, not today. No, no vote, no vote, no vote. Everybody have their reason why they won't vote. I'm not knocking anybody. So this is not what this is about. This is about me just saying that we had to fight for the right to vote. That's all I'm saying. We had to fight for the right to vote. So what you do with it, that's on your conscience. Okay. But the fight was on for that vote. The next march was in 1966 when Dr. King decided we did good in the South. We made a good, we did a lot for the black community in the South. Let's travel. Let's take it around. Let's go help that other city. So he went to Chicago. He went to Chicago, and I'm telling you, I'm trying to picture Dr. King and his stature and the kind of finance he had. But Dr. King decided, you know what? I'm going to rent apartment in the slum. I don't want to go in the affluent, rich neighborhood. I want to stay where I can see the injustice. I want to stay where I can see everything. I want to stay where I can see the difference. I want to stay where the people will say, you know what? Well, guess what? He is here with us. So he's going to fight with us. He's going to fight for us. And that was his intention when he stayed in a slum apartment in Chicago. Now, during that march, while marching, imagine getting hit with a brick in your head, getting hit with a brick in your head, and just shrugging it off and say, you know what, I'm just going to keep marching on. I here for a purpose. This got to stop. I'm just going to keep on going. So that's what he did. He kept on going. He kept on marching and marching. When he was finished, not in the middle, at the end of his march, his remark was, he has never experienced so much hate and hostility. You know, I felt I was in there with him to feel that vengeance, to feel that venom, to feel that spite, to feel that vindictiveness, to feel that, oh, wow, to feel that hate, to feel when somebody's so hostile towards you. You just want to say, you know what? Cover up, cover down. But no, he held on. He held on because he went there for a mission. He went there to fight for what that equality, inequality that was going on in Chicago. That was his goal. That was his goal. Um, I am, I am in awe to think about his speeches because growing up in Grenada, yes, I'm an island girl. I grew up in the islands. I came to America when I was 15 years old. And as imagine when I came to America at 15 years old, I remember they wanted to put me in the 10th grade. And I said, 10th grade? If I was in Grenada, I was going to go to Form 5. So no 10th grade. No. So in Grenada, I did have the opportunity to learn about one speech, the I have a dream speech, the one people's lips that just, you know what, the last part of it, that's what captivates me. The last part of the speech. In the middle does things to me. It does. It attacks every fiber in me in the middle. But the last part of the speech, the free, thank God I'm free. Free at last. I mean, I have put myself in bondage. I have built my own cage around myself. I know how to, I have enslaved this body. I have enslaved this body. So I know what it is to say, I'm free from all that stuff that I had held me in bondage. So when he stood there and he said those words, you could hear the crowd. Because when you're free, oh God, when you're free, have you ever opened a cage with birds and the birds free now they could just fly? Freedom, sweet, sweet mother, sweet, sweet mother to be free. So those words just resonate with me because I know what it's like to live in a prison. And what's worse, when you make it your own prison, when you did it on your own, when you put yourself in that prison. So to say, thank God I'm free, and just to hear those words, just hear it just go all the way through me. Say, oh my God, I'm free. I am free. Sister, free. No more bondage. So that speech stayed on my lips. The next speech I've never heard until I went and did research on Martin Luther King. I've never heard this speech. This speech he gave to teenagers. Yes, teenagers. And I put myself and I said, you know what? I'm in that classroom. I know that I have wonderful parents that give me good guidance. I have some friends that give me good guidance. But to be a teenager and to sit in the classroom and have Martin Luther King give me a speech and ask this question: what is your life blueprint? Well, I'm there as a teenager. I'm looking around. Well, what is he talking about right there? And then as a teenager, I would think, blueprint, little ideas of what he's thinking. But to hear it from his lips, sometimes we have to consider the messenger, the messenger. Okay. Yes, we got to listen to the message, but we have to also look at the messenger. Here is Dr. King at a high school. So we have to pay focus to that. And this is what he told them. I'm going to tell you three things they told him. The first one: have a deep belief in your own dignity, your own, not your friend, not your parents, not your sister, no, your own. Have a deep belief. Now, hear the word deep, deep, and belief. They got to go together. You have to be, you got to take it deep. You got to believe in your own dignity. You have to have that deep sense of belief in you. That's one. The second one: the basic principles. You have to know the basic principle that are going to get you where you need to go. You have to know the basic principles. Without the basic principles, you're flopping. You got to have the basic principles. And the third thing was, when you discover where you want to go, when you discover what you want to do, when you discover what you want to be, oh, guess what? You go be the best you could be. Even the part when he said, if you want to just sweep the streets, be the best one, be the best. Whatever you set your goal in life, be the best. I tend to be the best. And I'm telling you, as a high schooler, if I sat in there as a high schooler and I had that, my blueprint for my life, write that down, take that down. Yes. Start building my little toolbox, start building my little toolkit, because that's what we need to be better people. That's what we need. We need blueprints of our own self to be better people. I know you can't say, I'm going to go build me a house with a blueprint. I know you ain't going to say that. I know you're not going to say, I'm going to bake a cake without knowing the ingredients or how to do it. I know you're not going to do that. So what about your life? So when Dr. King asked that question about your blueprint for your life, that's impertinent. That's impertinent information for high schoolers, because they are at the crossroads. So when he gave that speech to high schoolers, I was like, I had to talk about this one on his Memorial Day today. Now, the last speech, it goosebumps. This one I've heard many, many, many times, many times, many times. I have been to the mountaintop, and remember, that speech was the third. Okay, stay with me. That speech was 3rd of April. And I'm telling you, I don't know what was going on in Dr. King's mind and heart, but I have sensed that he knew what was coming. I felt he knew what was coming, because he said, let me tell you, those are Dr. King's words, verbatim. So I don't know if people are going to knock me out. I don't know what people are going to do. But this is Dr. King's verbatim words from his I have been to the mountaintop. And so I'm happy tonight. I am happy tonight. I am not worried about anything. I am not fearing no man. Mine eyes have seen the coming of the Lord. Whew! The 3rd of April. The 3rd of April, he said those words. He's not worried. He's not fearing any man. His eyes have seen. He have seen it. So I'm saying to myself, oh my God, that's the 3rd. That's the 3rd. That's on the 3rd. And on the 4th of April, he was assassinated. So I felt that speech was his goodbye. The mountaintop. I mean, when you're at the peak, when you're at the peak of your life, you know, either you stay at the peak or you get off the peak. He got to the peak of his life for his short life. A lot of us looking forward for 40. Oh my God, we're gonna be the big 4-0. We're gonna be the big 4-0. 4-0 is coming. He did not even see 4-0. He died at the age of 39. But in his 39 years, he accomplished a lot. He accomplished a lot in his 39 years on this earth. I'm 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 just in awe of him. I'm just in awe of him. Okay, we gotta have some more fun now. Here's some more fun. Fun, 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 fun time. Okay, there's a question there. Who is your favorite actor that played Martin Luther King in a movie? Okay, anybody there? Write it in the comment section. Let me know who was your favorite actor that played Martin Luther King Jr. in a movie. Mine was Paul Winfield. I mean, the makeup was immaculate. I mean, Paul Winfield really portrayed. I mean, he gave that man his dues. You hear me? I'm telling you, when I saw Paul Winfield play Martin Luther King, I was like, I could see that movie over and over and over and over and over and over. So let's see. Someone said something. Let's see what. Let's see what. Oh, Mavis. Hi, Mavis. I now finally see who is on. And my beautiful, lovely Sergeant Major. I'm telling you, she is the epitome of success. She knows how to get success, and you know what about her? She knows how to let you know how to be successful. That's a good part. She's not a hogger. That's a good thing about PK. She ain't no hogger. So thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I have not seen anyone say anything. So who is your actor? Anyone got a comment to say who is their favorite actor that played Martin Luther King? Okay. At the age of 29, when he was doing his book signing for his first book, Stride Towards Freedom, the Montgomery story, a woman, which I'm not going to say her name, she stabbed him with a 7-inch letter opener in his chest at the age of 29. At the age of 29, just there, minding his own business, signing the book that he wrote, and she stabbed him. I'm not gonna. That's all I'm gonna say on the subject. He was stabbed at the age of 29, but by the grace of God, he survived it. It's just the, the the thing that says the 7-inch in his chest, and he survived it. So God was not ready for him yet. He had much more. He had much more to do. Much more to do. Much. Okay. Remember earlier I said about remember the quotes when it comes to his quote about being right. This is one of his quotes. The time is always right to do what is right. Get it? The time is always right to do what is right. Always. Always. Not sometimes, always. We make decisions because that's what gets us. That's what gets us in trouble. Is when we make that conscious decision to say, you know what? I think I'm going to go the other way. I think I'm not going to do that today. Well, that's the choice we make. So that's why we could always decide to do what's right. But we don't want to decide today to do what. So we're just gonna say, you know what? So no. We have that power. I decide to stick with love. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. Oh my God. When my son was small, that's one word. I taught him that word. I said, Laron, I'm going to teach you a word. I'm going to teach you this word, Laron, but you will not say it. I said, Laron, I'm going to teach you the word hate, but you will not use that word. I'm going to tell you what it means. I'm going to break it down to you, but you would not use that word hate. If you see something, you don't like it, but don't use the hate word and not have hate in your heart. I mean, hate bugs you down. You know, I can say that because I have been in that hateful stage in my life. You know, hate just, ugh, curse, ugh, that's hate. No, no, love. Let that love out. Let that love stamp pull that hate out. So when he says that hate is a burden, yes, yes, hate, yes, 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 yes. And the last one, life was persistent and urgent question. What are you doing for others? What are you doing for others? You self-centered. What are you doing for others? Are you doing anything for others? I mean, what are you doing for others? Are you only about in this little bubble right here with just self? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Dr. King was arrested. He was arrested 30 times. He was arrested 30 times. And in those 30 times, the types of arrests that he got, I'm shocked. It's like, wow, was arrested for having a white woman in the car. He was arrested for being in an establishment that was only for whites. He was arrested because he was in one state and he didn't change his license over yet. He was arrested. He spent some time in jail. I think his longest sentence was 4 months. That was his longest sentence to spend in jail was 4 months. But the then presidential candidate Kennedy and his brother advocate to get him released. So being arrested for the things that we take for thing today is like, wow, wow. Having a white woman in the car with him, he got arrested. Doing 5 miles over the speed limit, he was arrested. And I'm saying, wow, wow. It boggles. It just boggles how things was back then. But I am just glad that we have grown to the other side and things are much better. It's like we could just say, you know what? We growing. Okay, we moving. We are moving. We are moving. Dr. King last work was doing for the poor. He did not care what race. He did not care. All he cared about was that they were poor. And that was the last work that he talked about doing. But unfortunately, he died before he could continue to work. But right here is the link that if you want to support that establishment, there is the link for it. I say that because whenever I ask for donation, I don't want you to give me $100. That's not what I want. I want $2, but what I is more, many. Ask 100 people for $2. Ask 1,000 people for $2. I don't want one person to give me all of the money. No, that's never my intention when I ask for a donation. When I ask for donation, small but many. I ask many. So right now, $2. There's a link to say donate. $5, whatever. It's a very good cause. It's a very good cause. It's a great cause. It's a great cause. And in closing, whoa, in closing, wow, goosebumps. It's a national holiday. President Ronald Reagan signed the bill making the third Monday of January of every year, starting from 1986, to be a national holiday. And when I was in the military, I looked forward for the 4-day weekend, baby. So, yes, so it became a national holiday starting in 1986. And if you drive around any state in America, you're going to see a MLK Road, Street, Avenue, whatever. Any state, I don't know if there's another state in America. I think I did not research that because all I know, there is a lot of roads in America today that honors Dr. King. There's a lot of roads that honor Dr. King. Dr. King was a Christian man, and being a Christian man, he used that to help people. He used that to show people that, guess what? There's another way. There is another way to make your point across. There is another fix the, your words. Use your words wisely. And that's what Dr. King did. Dr. King used his word wisely to get stuff accomplished. Dr. King, I thank you. Dr. King, I applaud you. Dr. King, I praise you. And I have deep and abiding respect for you. This has been a wonderful session today that we all know that when we do good, great things happen. So I want to thank all of you that was on live, and I do hope that you answer. Oh, wait a minute, let me see who says a comment. There is a, oh, there's my. So I want you all an awesome Wednesday, and next week we'll go back to the body. We're gonna go back to the body next week. So peace.